Now, we've given you lots of bizarre sheets so far that probably haven't made a lot of sense. And now this sheet is going to start having things come together. You say, hey, I remember the sheet from last year except said science 10. So, one carbon atom in our longest chain. We can represent it as CH4. We can represent it with a structural diagram. These things are equivalent to us, but they both mean methane. Now we look at two carbons. We know the prefix for two carbons is eth. That's why this is ethane. C2H6 may not make it totally clear. This makes it much more clear how the carbons and hydrogens are arranged. We see the carbons are stuck together, and each carbon has 3 hydrogens stuck out of it. 3 carbons in a row, so here's propane, because prop is the prefix for 3. Again, C3H8, we often show it that way because it's easy to write in a book or a page. But this gives us a clear representation. 3 carbons stuck together, the N carbon and that N carbon both have 3. The middle carbon has 2. And when we look around every carbon atom, it should have 4 bonds. When we get to butane, we have C4H10. And what we see is the N carbons again have 3 hydrogens, and the middle ones each have 2. They all have 4 bonds around them. And we have our longest chain at 4 carbons in a row. So you might have seen a pattern. And that pattern is every time we go up by 1 carbon, we add 2 hydrogens. Comes in there, 2 more hydrogens. So we went 1 carbon, became 2 carbons. 4 became 6. So we added 1 to the carbons, we added 2 to the hydrogens. 2 plus 1 is 3, 6 and 2 is 8. And 3 plus 1 is 4, and 8 plus 2 is 10. We're adding a CH2 in the middle chain every time, essentially. And you might remember this formula, CnH2n plus 2. So if I had 20 carbons, how many hydrogens would I have? Well, I go 20 times 2 is 40, add 2, and I have 42 hydrogens. Alkanes are said to be saturated. You don't see any carbon-carbon double or triple bonds. And again, in Biology 12, you're going to find out that saturated and unsaturated mean quite a bit.